Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today this video is sponsored by YGWigs. They were gracious enough to provide the wig for the tutorial, and we're going to do a bleaching and dyeing video today. So if you would like to see how I got the red color on the thumbnail, then go ahead and stay tuned. The original state of the hair was super curly and pretty. It's a water wave texture, and the length on the package says 20 inches, but in my opinion this is a little bit longer than that, curly, and it's definitely about 26 inches straightened. The hairline did come pre-plucked, and it came with baby hair, or what you would consider baby hair. You probably should cut them a little bit shorter if you're going to use them as baby hair. The first thing I did was section off the frontal from the rest of the hair, reason being because I want the frontal to be a little bit lighter than the back portion of the hair. So I am just taking bleach mixed with 40 volume developer, and I am applying that all over the frontal, being sure to leave the roots black. My mixture is pretty liquidy. I would say it is about maybe don't y'all know that cheap Queen's lotion? It's like that consistency, like that cocoa butter Queen's lotion that you don't never really use all the way up. That's the consistency that the bleach is. I wanted it to be able to saturate the hair really well, so I wanted to make it a little bit more runny. I am using a couple of different techniques to apply the bleach. I'm doing a flat brush going all the way up, and then I'm turning my brush onto the side when I get closer to the roots so that I have a more gradient effect. The bleaching process is pretty messy, so go ahead and make sure you have on gloves for this. Once the hair is all the way bleached, I'm just going to set that aside for a few minutes and let that process while I start on the tips of the back of the hair. Now again, I want the tips to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to make sure they are really saturated and let them process before I start on the rest of the hair. After the hair starts turning, I'm going to continue the bleaching process on the rest of the hair. I'm using the exact same method that I used on the front of the hair, and my wig head refuses to sit still. So this is what it looks like as it's processing. The whole entire head is covered in bleach. It's super saturated, and I'm going to leave that to process for about 40 minutes. After the second bleaching, this is pretty much what I got. I did have to bleach twice, so I waited an entire day and let the hair sit in conditioner, and then went again and bleached the hair. The front is much lighter than the back, which is what I wanted, and you can see a lot of different dimension and tones in the hair. So I'm using the Kiss Tintation dyes. This is my first time using them, and I'm using the shades Crimson, Red Storm, and Intense Red. I did not end up using the second Red Storm. I only used 3 bottles of dye for the entire head. So I'm starting off by putting the Intense Red at the root. It is the darkest color, and I am bringing that all the way down to the very end, and I'm leaving the tips plain so that I can add in that Red Storm. So I am just taking the Intense Red to about 3/4 of the length of the hair, and then I'm adding in that Red Storm right there at the tips. And I'm using my massage method to make sure that these two colors blend together seamlessly. So I'm just going to repeat that method all the way around the back of the head, and then when we get to the frontal, I am using the Red Storm as the root color, and then I am using the Crimson Red, which is that bright pretty cherry red. I'm using that on 3/4 of the hair. You really want to make sure that the roots are saturated, even the black parts, just in case, because you did do that ombre method, so you do have some pieces of blonde that went up a little bit higher, and you don't want any blonde poking through, so just make sure you saturate all of the hair with all of the color so that you don't have any problems later on once you rinse it out. This dye has the consistency of like jelly. It is super thick, so you can pretty much be messy around the frontal, which I really like because the dye isn't going anywhere. Like, you can really slather this dye on and it's not going to drip. So that's one of my favorite things about it. Also, it smells really good. It has aloe vera mixed into it, and it just has a really nice fragrant smell to it. I do recommend these dyes, but I'm still Team Adore. I did put some saran wrap over the back portion of my hair. That's just to keep it separate since it was darker. I didn't want any dark spots to show up on the frontal, so I just saran wrapped it and kept it separate while I did the frontal. So here is the two portions of hair completely drenched in dye. Of course, the dye is a lot darker than it'll be once you rinse it out, but here you can see the two tones of color, and here is the dye completely washed out. Here is the curl pattern now, bleached twice and dyed, and you can really see those two tones. I then blow dried the hair, and basically I wanted to show you guys that the roots were still dark, that the frontal was a cherry red, and that the back was just slightly darker once it dried. You can't really tell that the back is darker until you start moving the hair, which is super cool. I did want it to be at least 3 shades darker, but it didn't end up being that way. So just be wary of that if you want it to be like super noticeable that the back is darker, it probably won't be until you start moving the hair around. So I just threw a couple of pin curls in the back just to add some body later on, and now I'm just taking my wax stick and my handy dandy hot comb, and I am just laying that frontal down, okay? I'm gonna go for a high ponytail look with the back down today. So I'm just gonna add some of my favorite hairspray, and I'm gonna really saturate that one piece of hair and just wrap it around the ponytail. I'm sure you guys already know how to do this. Just makes the hair look a little bit more coiffed and put together. It just gives it a nice polished look. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a few curls at the top and make sure I pin those up to cool as well. Now in this light you guys can really see the difference in the two tones of hair. We have a bright cherry red on top and a nice deep red in the back, and it has so much dimension. I am so happy with how this color came out. So to apply my wig, I basically just use my Got To Be Glued gel, and then I take the back end of my red tail comb and I press it down. Then I apply my Sanex strips and I take my blow dryer and I just make sure that that is completely dry all around the edges. And that is pretty much how I got this look. If you guys want to know more about the wig details, the company, and the process of me coloring this hair, please stay tuned. The wig is the 13x6 Brazilian lace front, and it is in the style water wave. You guys will be able to see that. When I first bleached the hair, it was a natural like 1B color, probably like a little bit of brown. It's just like a natural brown black color, and I lifted that to like a 27-ish, like a little bit higher than the 27, and then I was able to get this color using the Kiss dyes. This is my first time using the Kiss line of dyes, and I will say that the color deposited very well, but my Adore dyes are still hidden. Like, I'm not going to trade over to Kiss just yet. They do have a huge range of dyes, so whenever I can't find a dye in Adore, I'll go on over to Kiss. But as far as the hair goes, the hair lifted beautifully. It did take 2 bleachings to get to where I needed to go, but I am like a nervous Nelly when I bleach hair. Like, I'm watching it and I get impatient, and then I rinse it out before it's time. So if I would have kept the bleach on the first time, I don't think it would have taken as long to process. But I also always use 40 volume developers, and that's not a good thing either. Like, I am not a hair guru or professional at all. I just know what I do, and then I try to show you guys what I do to help you out. So basically, I just use my regular Clairol bleach that I use for all my bleachings, and a 40 volume developer. I think it's time for me to invest in a better developer, because this one is 40 volume, but it still takes me so long to lift the hair. The second bleaching I left on probably for like an hour and like 15 minutes ish. I rinsed out the front before I rinsed out the back, because the front, of course, I did the first so it could process lighter. I don't recommend the Salon Perfect Salon Care 40 volume developer, but I'm gonna use this mug because I still got like half a thing in here. Okay. So as far as the bleaching, the hair is fine. The front part did get slightly damaged, but nothing that a little bit of silicone mix and just kind of conditioning didn't help. It straightened gorgeously, and I just kind of threw like some really big waves in it and popped it in this high pony. This is my first time wearing a wig without baby hair, so can we please get a slight round of applause for me for slaying this wig without baby hair? Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. I also tinted the lace with just some foundation. I told you guys before, when you use powder for foundation, it does come across a little bit lighter on camera, because the camera will pick up the difference, especially with this big ass ring light. It's gonna pick up the difference. So but in real life, like, you're fine. Like, trust and believe, camera lighting and regular lighting, daytime lighting don't snitch like how camera lighting snitches, okay? Except when it comes to makeup, because I've seen some of y'all, like, the camera lighting, it'll take away a couple things. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're here talking about the wig. So, really quickly, she been through some stuff, because I'll be throwing stuff around my room, but it was packaged like super duper nicely. It came in this box, and then it came packaged inside of a plastic bag. Now in the box, it's really cool, you get the wig band. They give you the wig band, they give you a really cute storage bag, which is awesome, because I have so many wigs, you guys, and I have resorted to storing them in gallon Ziploc bags. Like, that's how many wigs. Like, I gotta store them somehow. So they gave me a storage bag, which I'm super duper happy about. They also come with 2 of these wig clips to help with managing the wig, which is cool. A wig cap, and all of that information, that info card, so you guys can see that. So the info card has all of their social media on there, and I want you guys to go ahead and check out their Instagram because people be slaying these wigs, I'm telling you. This hair smelled freaking amazing, you guys. Like, it smelled like home. Like, I don't know, it had this nice lady smell, like the smell of like the nice kindergarten teacher that you like it just smells so freaking good. And when I washed it and I bleached it and I did all that stuff to it, the smell is still here. Like, this hair smells good. Even like I always make Craig smell my hair. It's like my second. Like, I'll smell it and I'm like and then I'll be like, you here, smell this. And but like when I opened this one, I was like, Craig, you gotta smell this. And he was like, I'm not smelling any more corn chip hair. And I was like, no, smell this wig. And he was like, oh no, this smells real good. Like, I don't know what kind of perfume they're putting on or anything like that, but the hair has a great smell to it, so that's another thing you don't have to worry about. And then I put that aloe vera dye on it, that was smelling good, and I put my silicone mix on it. Y'all know that smell good. I just smell good right now. Like, I don't have to wear perfume, you know what I'm saying? I just smell really good. But yeah, I'm rambling because this wig is giving me like fall witch vibes, like really witchy, like fall, like just feels so good. And then it's more on the late in the fall, like we're going into winter, but this with like a white fur coat, y'all playing games? I'm not playing games. I'm gonna be rocking this during the winter. Like, imagine me in my all white gloves, white fur coats, killing it, black makeup. Y'all not ready. Like, I'm giving y'all life with this right now. And basically, I don't have any bad things to say about the wig. As you guys saw in the video, I did hot comb and then I curled it, and my curl is getting hot. But I did use my heat protectant that I always use from Ion, and it allowed me, you know, it kind of like protected the hair a little bit more, because when you're lifting hair and you're bleaching it, the last thing you want to do is add heat damage on top of that, because the wig is nice. You want to keep it nice, and she held up, and I'm really happy to say that she gave me life, and she came back after the bleaching. The first bleaching, she took that like a champ. Like, she was not even playing games. Like, I'll try to insert a picture of what it looks like after the first bleaching. Curls were still there. She was hanging in there with like a light brown kind of look to her, giving me all kinds of Beyonce vibes. But I did want to take it higher to be able to bleach it to the red color. The frontal is the bomb. It came pre-plucked. I have not plucked anything. Like, this is it. It was so bomb diggity pre-plucked. I didn't even use baby hair, and y'all know I'm queen of baby hair. Like, I'm doing baby hair regardless, even if it looks good. I just can't help myself. I'm swooping some edges. This is my first time rocking a wig with no baby hair and no swooped edges, and they did that for me. I'm so excited. Like, I feel like I have never even been this excited on YouTube before. I am late for work, as per usual, always late for work, but I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the way I look. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, you guys. All of the information on this wig will be below, including all the dyes that I use. If you are not following me, all my social media is below, and you should follow me as well, because I am starting to update you guys more on the process as it is happening. So you'll be the first ones to know what colors I'm doing next and all that good stuff if you just go ahead and follow my social medias below. I love you guys so very much. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you have not already. Sorry, I went blank because I was like, why would they not be subscribed yet? Exactly. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Bye.